And I just wanted to do a quick introduction. My name is Brenda Dawes, and I'm over at the Wellness Center, which is by the Colvin Center. And Able Tech is a sponsored program, which is part of Department of Wellness. And we loan assistive technology to students, faculty, and staff. And we use the product Read&Write. And today I want to introduce you to our presenters. This is Doug Rosette and Beth Molaski, and they are with the company Text Help. So they are the experts on using Read&Write. And we're going to show you the link in a moment. You can direct your students or faculty and staff to OSU's site. If you grabbed a handout at the back, it has it.okstate.edu at the top of one of the handouts. And that's where you will go to actually download Read&Write. And OSU has made this possible to our community. So it's a free software, and a lot of students are starting to learn about this. I use it in my job. I love this product, and it you will soon see through the demo the powerful use and the ease of use of this tool. So I'm going to turn it over to Beth and Doug. Oh, I can keep this.
Yep, I am mic'd up. I'm not. Can you guys hear me okay? No. Okay, no? Okay. I'm Beth Molaski. I'm with Text Help, and just a little bit about myself. I've worked with educational technology for a little over 12 years, and Doug, my boss, thought it would be great for you guys to get to know us a little bit more. And just a little bit about me. I just recently got engaged, and my fiance made me climb to the top of a mountain without any knowledge of this, of course. So I thought, know a little bit about me and understand where I'm coming from with the world of educational technology and assistive technology is really important in my world. So, Doug?
And my name is Doug Rosette. I am the VP of Sales for Text Help in the eastern part of the United States, which ironically does include Oklahoma and Texas. Ask my boss. I don't know how that worked out. Basically, I've worked with assistive technology for about 23 years. I was on your OSU website this morning and noticed that one of the accommodations you provide for your students is a machine called an Optilec reading machine. Some of you might be familiar with that. It's for individuals who are legally blind. My father started that company, and that's sort of how I got into the whole path of working with individuals with legal blindness. And I had my own company in New England, and for the last 8 years have transitioned into working for companies like Cambium Learning. And for the last 6 years, I've been at Text Help, managing their efforts in Eastern Canada and Eastern part of the United States. About me, I have 3 children and a wife. She's not in the picture, I'm in the background, but we do love the outdoors. We love going to the mountains or the beach or just about anything. I'm blessed. I woke up this morning, or Saturday morning, to my 10-year-old making homemade scones after I was out having a nice evening with some friends. So enough about us, but I did want to briefly introduce ourselves that way. So Beth, I'm going to turn it over to you and
Sure.
go through the agenda.
Okay, again, thank you all for being here. The agenda today, we're going to go over briefly some of the challenges you have with retention and transitioning students from high school to college. We're really focusing on how Read&Write Gold supports the UDL initiatives here at OSU. The demonstration will be the bulk of what we talk about, but before we go there, I do want to just give you a little bit more background about the product, where we come from, and why we do what we do. If at any time you guys have questions, please feel free to chime in. We are being recorded, so this will be something that you can view at a later time. And lastly, as Brenda mentioned, there is a site for faculty and staff to download the product at it.okstate.edu. Okay. Challenges for students that they have today. The amount of reading that a student has in high school compared to the college, university setting, the complexity and the volume is just unsurmountable, going from 6 textbooks on average a year to over 20 in some places. And again, the complexity of that can be very daunting for students. What we find with the research behind that is to keep students in the retention mode, to help with that transition from high school to college, is to decrease that workload by increasing the speed, duration, and efficiency of their reading. So disability services, the challenges that we find with the departments that we work with, when we walk into a campus university setting, oftentimes it is starting with the disability services. The students are receiving inaccessible text because text is now supported in many ways. You're having it online through the university Moodle or through D2L, which I believe you all use. Textbooks are coming from publishers in inaccessible formats, which we need to convert. And then faculty, without meaning to, sometimes they can upload text that is inaccessible for students to have access to. So what we want to do is help you to convert this text to an accessible format in the easiest and best way possible. These are just some of the places that we support with Adobe, Word, HTML, Daisy Reader, and so forth. Solutions that Read and Write Gold provides really focuses on students' reading efficiency, writing efficiency, the speed of duration of the reading, and increasing student comprehension of the reading of the text. And most importantly, providing these resources anytime, anywhere. Again, really speaking that universal design, anytime, anywhere access for anyone. For the faculty and staff, decreasing the media production is huge to reduce that workload so you can focus more on working with students one-on-one and their specific needs. How we make this happen, you're going to see when Doug shows the full demonstration, is we have many tools built into the program. Text-to-speech, word prediction, there's self-editing tools, organizational tools. And again, most importantly, anywhere, anytime access, but building it into a student's native environment. So we're working with the student in the environment that they are already working with. And the research behind this, with our reading and our writing conventions, the dual synchronous highlighting that you're going to see has both audio and visual support. This is, again, helping students increase their speed, duration, and efficiency with the reading, and it can also help increase students' comprehension by up to 2 grade levels. This is tremendous. If they're reading at a specific grade level, they're able to comprehend the text, they will do better on their test. The endurance, that's less tiring and less stressful, and also the speed in which they can read, so they're more efficient with the time that they have to spend. And then the writing conventions, increasing by 276% from pre to post tests over 6 months using the Read and Write Gold program. We have much research that's on our website. If you need access to that, I can send that to you as well. Okay. So Read and Write Gold is a toolbar. I actually have the toolbar open live on top of the screen, but what the toolbar does is it has integrations with any application that you have open. Anytime you have it open, it's sitting on top of what you're currently working with, and each one of those icons represents a powerful tool, a different tool for reading, writing, organization, and research. The tools do help the students do this reading and research independently, and again, working with their native environment is one of our key components. Where we integrate and what applications, this is some of the places that we do integrate with, not only on the internet, but on PDF documents and Word documents, again, places that students are currently working, as well as student management systems, Desire to Learn, your student management system, the testing center, social media to be able to communicate properly with their peers as well. So I'm going to go just briefly into a couple of the departments that we work great with. Again, disability services is where we really begin. It's a toolbar that is giving students access to over 20 different assistive technologies in one place. Anytime, anywhere access, creating independence and independence for learning, and empowers the student to do what they need to do wherever it is, not just within the department itself. If they're on their off on college campus break, they can still use the same supports on the campus as they have off. ESL is probably one of the secondary places that we work highest in, and just a lot of studies have shown that students with the same learning disabilities, students at ESL have the same needs for hearing, listening, seeing the visual organizers and the writing conventions. The writing support, we have amazing word prediction software. Students can hear their own work. They have self-editing tools. that this again creates an independent place for learning with their writing. Assessment support. Any of your students that are working in a testing lab that may need a reader, this can replace that scribe. So the student can have the same supports that they need without having a person working with them directly. They can work independently in a testing environment. The TRIO support, it's a terrific organization working with students, first-generation students, low-income students, the veterans, and the high school transition. This is another big place where we work, and the reason why I bring this up is really all of these places support UDL. The importance of that initiative for combining every department into one place, everybody's using a systematic approach with the same program. Retention support, lastly what I want to go over is the importance of retention, transition from the college and university, from high school. There's studies that show that 4 out of 10 students do not complete their freshman year in public universities. OSU's average of going from first year to second year is actually much above the national average. The national average of 65%, OSU is 80%. We want to keep it there and increase that. So how we do that is to help alleviate the ability, time, and money, which are the 3 top reasons for students not succeeding and going from the freshman hump into their sophomore year. We want to give them the abilities that they need by using the program that we provide with Read&Write Gold, the time, decreasing the time for the production for the staff, increasing the time for the students to be able to work and work independently. And again, the money, this is a program that any student has access to. They have it on their own personal computers. If you didn't know that, we give you access to that as well, and just allow students to get those writing, organizational, reading tools whenever they need it. So this is just a couple of the UDL solutions, the universal design. We're going to go into the demonstration and talk more about specifically the writing, reading, and research tools that the program provides.